Navigate the gauntlet of uncertainty the world throws at your business with SAP. Whether it's a tropical storm hitting your warehouse or a short supply of those little plastic twist ties, SAP can help you tackle those unexpected crushing setbacks with its AI-powered capabilities. To pivot to new suppliers, automate paperwork, and source the twist ties you need at the price you want, so your business can stay unstoppable. Learn more at sap.com/uncertainty.
As a sports fan, I have to confess. Sometimes the game gets kind of boring. That's when I unfold my Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 and use multi-window viewing on its large screen. Boring game? I'm checking out my fantasy baseball league at the same time. Score still 1-0? I'm replying to emails in the other window, scoring points with the boss. Semifinals finally getting exciting? I'm buying tickets to the finals and booking my flights. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
Disney Plus wants to know, are you ready? For Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, now streaming on Disney Plus.
Let's do this.
One of the best Marvel movies of all time is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Hey, you weren't listening to me.
I said Thunderbolts, The New Avengers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Meet the New Avengers.
That's a cool name.
Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts, The New Avengers, rated PG-13, now streaming on, you guessed it, Disney Plus.
Say that. All right, we are live on Twitch. Why do I always have like this weird shadow on my face on Twitch? I need a light, like right there. Maybe I can move one of those over to yonder.
That's what they make ring lights for.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my god, this fucking guy.
Yeah, you
Hey, man.
light directly on your face. What?
You believe this guy?
Honestly, it's Jeremy.
So yeah, you do believe it?
Yeah.
It's, I mean,
Who
don't
hasn't
act
seen
surprised.
Star Wars? Come on.
I mean, right? Come on. Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's what ring lights are for, dude. You put your camera in between or in the middle of the ring light so you don't have any shadows. Notice how there's no shadows on me?
Nope.
No shadows on me because I have a ring
Well
light.
lit.
The light goes around the camera so that
I
all
thought that
angles...
was like for teenage girls.
Well, that's why you look like shit on camera.
Mm.
Your preconceived notions are holding you back, my friend.
I guess I'll get a ring light.
Hey, what?
I guess. Hi, everybody. Hi.
I said hi and my thingy disappeared.
I see it. It's there. It's waving.
It's not on Twitch.
I see it. I see it on Twitch. It's waving right at me.
So did you tell him when you initially booked it that it was Central Time?
Yes, sir.
Nobody goes off Central Time, bro.
Man.
Except Central Time people.
Some boomer shit.
Oh, I'm such a boomer. I'm such a boomer.
Maybe he'll join. I don't know.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will. We had a guest. Now we don't have a guest. Now you're just going to listen to us talk. With my shadow face because I don't have a ring light. like a 12-year-old girl. Apparently, I need to get one.
12-year-old girls should not have ring lights because they shouldn't be presenting themselves on the internet or on camera to begin with.
That is a true statement.
I agree, actually. I'm going to take a sip of agua. And as of right now, we don't have a guest for next week. But we do have a guest for the following 2 weeks. Those will be pretty cool.
I'll be your guest.
You want to be my guest tonight, dude?
No, not tonight.
Oh.
My coil tastes burnt. I need to change my coil.
What does that even mean?
His vape.
My vape coil.
Ah, vape.
Odin says he could be a guest. Militarized computer networks.
Like right now?
We're not smart enough for that.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Jeremy just wants somebody to come on and talk so he doesn't have to.
I was hoping this dude was coming on tonight too, man. I did not like mentally prepare at all to do anything. I was really excited for him to just show the presentation, and I was gonna kick back. I was gonna do this. I was gonna fucking lean this thing back. I was just gonna pull the pillow up like this, and I was just gonna enjoy the fucking ride.
I was looking forward to just like I was looking forward to the presentation, man. Not gonna lie.
I'll give you his presentation. I'm new.
No, don't do it. Just
I'm the new guy. I'm Himothy.
Himothy, huh? Himothy, you say? Himothy.
'Tis I, Himothy.
Well, what are we going to talk about, man? We're gonna talk about something.
Let's talk about his presentation. What? Oh yeah, Florida's banning the well, not banning, but they're phasing out the childhood vaccine schedule.
I heard that they're making all vaccines non-mandatory
In Florida.
In Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Greatest country in the world.
Greatest country in the world. Florida guy Jeff. I'm Jeff.
Once you get past the heat,
It's not that bad.
Which sucks.
yeah, but you know,
But not year round.
it doesn't suck as bad as -0.
I'd
Or-
rather deal with that.
You know, no, fuck no, dude.
Yes. I like getting out of the shower and feeling like I just took a shower. Like I'm all clean. I don't like getting out of the shower and feeling like I need another shower. That sucks.
Well, that doesn't happen when you live here. You know, like you're used to it. Your body acclimates itself.
Yeah.
Like I could go
Dude,
outside.
I
and
spent 10 years in Florida.
as long as I'm not like exerting myself or like standing under the laser beam, then
As long as I'm not breathing, I'm fine.
then it's fine. But like, you know, if you're super duper hot, all you got to do is get in the air conditioning, and within like 5 minutes you're cold.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas if you're freezing your ass off, good luck, bro. It's going to take you like 30 minutes to warm up.
So you could just pour cold water on yourself in Florida and cool you down.
Yeah, no.
Also, when you're freezing your balls off, it's like a nice 55 degrees here.
Yeah, no, I'd rather just not. You know?
We don't
And
have
it's only pleasant there for like a total of 3 weeks.
For those who died says, I hate Florida, but he's lived here his whole life and refuses to fucking move. So,
Hey, at least he understands.
everybody who lives in Florida says they hate Florida, and none of them leave,
I did.
except you.
I did.
In fact, more people come here than should.
More people move here than leave here.
Because there's like this thing. Like I remember growing up, I grew up in Connecticut, right? I was born in Connecticut. And I remember this thing where it's like, man, Florida is this cool place where it's got beaches and babes and, you know, all this stuff. And then I went there and like there were beaches, right? And there were babes and it was all the stuff, but then like, you realize it was like, man, is it worth it? And you're like, nah, that Florida guy stuff that's real. That's a real thing.
Depends on where you're at. Nah, it depends on where you're at.
I mean, it's in a lot of places.
It depends on where you're at. There's a lot of places in Florida that are like super nice.
There's a lot of places. I remember when I was down there, and bath salts were really taking off, and that guy, and then there was that wave. What is John Keel had that term flap for UFOs, right? There's a flap of bath salt accounts coming out.
Like 3 guys who ate somebody's face. It's not that serious.
Dude, that guy ripped off his testicles and threw it at a cop. Okay?
It's his testicles, bro. His body, his choice, man. You know?
I mean, I guess.
He didn't rip off somebody else's testicles.
He just ate the other guy's face and then ripped off his own testicles and threw it at the cop.
I love Florida, bro. I don't know. I've been all over this whole country, dude. And like, there's some places that I would move to, except like I would move to some of these places because they're beautiful. But then you look at the politics or like the laws and the regulations in some of these places, and it's like, yeah, fuck no, dude. Well, yeah. Aside from the fact that everybody I know is in Florida, but
man, that's the case everywhere. There's stupid people no matter where you go.
Yeah, 100%. Same with Florida man.
Yeah,
there's Florida man in every state.
There are, but per capita, right? Per square mile.
No, the only
Florida.
reason Floridas are more prominent is because we have freedom of information here, and you're allowed to know everything that happens, and most other states do not allow for that.
See, and that's a good thing.
No, it's because you have bath salts and alligators.
Everywhere has bath salts.
Everywhere has bath salts, and most places have alligators.
It's not that serious.
But the amount of bath salts and alligators per capita.
Gators are cool, though. It's like a dinosaur.
Dude, if you don't bother them, they won't bother you.
But when they mix, it doesn't make for a fun time. Well, it does if you're watching it, not if you're a part of it.
Well, just don't do bath salts and play with alligators, and you're going to be fine.
It's really not that hard to play with alligators.
Well, listen, all I know is that, and like I was talking about this with Creamer the other day, you know, once they phase out the childhood vaccine schedule in Florida, right, you're going to see a whole different Florida. Give it like 10, 15 years, and this place is going to be totally different because there's not going to be 72 mandatory vaccines for kids under the age of 6.
It will be interesting.
The TISM count will be lower.
Could you imagine? the debates?
On what?
Just on vaccines. On vaccines and autism and stuff.
Oh, like if the numbers like really tanked.
Oh yeah.
And they had like some solid like data to like use. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Oh, they'll do tests.
There will be people freaking the fuck out.
The floodgates are going to open, brother. I personally believe that that's the case, that there is a significant correlation between the two.
And there will still be people convinced and trying to convince you that you should be listening to Bill Gates.
Dude, there's still people walking around with masks on. Outside.
That's hilarious. There's still people in their cars.
In their cars by themselves, outside, in the fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those people still exist. I feel bad for those people. I used to really like shit on those people like during the thing. But now
I just feel bad.
Now I just feel bad for them. It's like, bro, you got sucked into the mind control and you never left, dude.
It's like, man, you're walking all by yourself in a national park.
It's depressing, bro. I seen a sign the other day in a customer's house, like out front. We've all seen this sign. It's like, I believe in science. I believe in, what is it? It's like, science is real. Climate change is real. vaccines are real. Like, it's just, and it's all in like a rainbow colors. I'm like, bro, you fell for it. You fell for it all.
I got into a conversation the other day with somebody at work. Somebody got wind that I was a podcast host. I don't talk too much about it. And they were like, hey, so what kind of show do you do? So I was explaining it. And the conspiracy aspect really stuck out. Not the cryptids, not the UFOs, nothing. It was the conspiracy aspect that really stuck out. So they really grasped onto that, and they started talking about all kinds of stuff, about how the government isn't trustworthy and stuff. And they wanted my opinion, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really want to give you my opinion, because I've fallen for this before. I have this nasty track record of people asking for my opinion in public, and then I'll go to start saying it, and either I'll say something that they don't agree with, and they'll immediately try to speak over me to give me their opinion. It just feels like they're asking me for my opinion just to hear their own opinion. Or they'll listen to my opinion and they'll just say, nah, you're crazy. So I've been kind of reserved to just not giving out my opinion on a lot of this stuff. But since we don't have a guest tonight, I figured, why don't we dive into that question? Because I think it would be, I don't know, we've kind of already started going down that path. Started to get into a debate with him. He was totally convinced that it was the military, the government, everything that is what you need to fear. They're the ones that control everything. And I was trying to explain to him that if you're thinking that the military and the U.S. government is what you really need to fear, that they're the ones that are pulling the strings to everything, that you're thinking too small of a scale. You're not seeing behind that. There's something behind that. And I don't know how far you want to get into this, but then, I brought up Israel. And I don't know if we can talk about this on Twitch. I don't know if this is a Twitch-friendly topic or not.
Sure, you can, dude. There's people who debate Israel and Palestine on Twitch all the time.
Well, there's and this is probably going to be one of the first times I ever really get into like a political topic, right? But this is heavily conspiratorial, right? I was trying to explain to him, like, hey, man, why do you think we're so defensive over Israel? He's like, well, we're based off of Christian principles and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, do you really think that's what it is? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, you don't think there's anything else there? Nothing else. Just this island in the middle of the Middle East. But yet, we'll defend it completely. The president of the United States will drop everything he's doing just to defend Israel. You got any input on that?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that it's a. I mean, this will. People are going to shit on me for this, honestly, but in my opinion, there is a strong connection to the people, not the Israeli people. This is where people get tripped up, right? And not even necessarily the Israeli government, but there's like a deep, multi-thousand-year situation that's going on where you have, whether you want to call it the deep state or whatever you want to call it, There's connections behind the scenes. A lot of these people are captured, right? When you start to realize that people like Jeffrey Epstein were connected to Mossad, and then you realize that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of the most powerful people in the world, right, captured in this honeypot situation. And then you realize Jeffrey Epstein's probably just one of many Jeffrey Epsteins out there, and how deep these intelligence agencies are like intertwined in this whole thing. So then when you ask yourself, like, why would somebody like Trump or any president drop everything and help Israel? It makes me wonder, like, well, maybe they're captured too, right? Now, I could go on like a long rant about what I think about like the esoteric nature of this as well, right? You know, I don't know if I've talked about it on this show too much, but, you know, there's the whole Eagle versus Serpent situation. And in a lot of like religious texts and mythologies, you have this serpent being that is labeled as like bad, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's a psyop that's a few thousand years old. And you have this other side of it where the eagle.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder. Because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites. At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at Friskies.com or visit your local store.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Symbologies is always good, right? Like, you know, we use the eagle in all of our shit, right? Like the Romans used it, you know, the Egyptians used it. It was like this cultural icon of the eagle. And I think that entities or people or whatever they were a couple thousand years ago that ran this world, right? And when they ran it holistically, okay, before the rise of like empires and conquering states and these types of things, I think that our ancestors who ran the world holistically used serpent iconography to represent themselves. And I think at some point in history, other factions of beings came and started to manipulate the money, the politics, and all the control and intelligence and all that type of shit. And they use eagle iconography. So you have this eagle versus serpent. And I think that this new world order that we've been living in under this eagle faction has done everything it can to wipe out the holistic nature of things, aka the serpent, right? So, and I think Israel is just another part of that. You know, so like I understand like on base reality level when people are like, hey man, you know, Hamas is a terrorist organization and they, you know, they went in and they fucking did all this terrible shit to the Israelis on October 7th or whatever fucking day it was. I get it, right? But at the same time, there's like a line there where it's like, yeah, but you guys you're bombing shit. You're literally just laying waste to an entire area, right? Oh, well, the terrorists are hiding behind civilians. What else are we supposed to do? I get it, you know, but like they have created this situation to a point to where like there's no good way to win this. There's no right answer. because it kind of goes back to, like, I always think of the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson, right? You had the British coming in, and this wasn't just a movie. This actually happened in history, right? But like the British came, and it became this thing where you had these, call them rebels, if you will, right? That were fighting back against the empire, right? And, we look at that in America as like they were heroes, right? Like they were the ones who like pushed for and made the United States of America happen, right? If it wasn't for those 3%ers back in the Revolutionary War and those militias, we wouldn't have a country that we have today. Great, right? But when you look at it from another perspective, there's a lot of propaganda and shit in there, right? And I can see how the people in Gaza feel the way that our ancestors must have felt during the Revolutionary War period, right? You have an occupying force. Some people will argue that it's not an occupying force because Palestine didn't exist. It was never a state back in the days, right? So like I understand there's religious battles and the timelines are all fucky and shit, but if you just look at it from today, you got people occupying your zone, you're going to have radicals that are going to push back and fight against that. And like some people call them freedom fighters, other people call them terrorists. It just depends on which side of the propaganda you're on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I haven't heard much about that serpent and eagle thing. Actually, I haven't heard nothing about it, to be honest with you. That's a completely new concept to me.
Well, it makes sense when you really start to think about it, right? Like, yeah, I can pull up some stuff if you want to chat for a second.
No, I mean, absolutely. Go ahead. It does make sense. There's a lot of concepts throughout history, a lot of cultures that reference serpents and eagles. And usually, well, at least what we're taught is that the eagle's usually the good side and the serpents are usually the bad. I don't know. I think that just as a nation, right? I think that we're in trouble. I think it's so bad. And it really sticks out when people try to talk to me about this stuff. And it really stuck out with this guy. What you got?
Check this out. So I know this is going to be a little hard to see because I can't open each one. I have to like stop sharing and share again. But here we go. Here's like the seal of the United States down here on the right. You see this?
Mm-hmm.
Here's Egypt. It's like the same symbolism. Okay. Even it holding the things in its hands. Will it show if I open this too? No, I'm going to have to fucking double share. Hold on. Sorry, Riverside is stupid.
You can open it up in a new tab, and then when you click on the new tab, there's a little tab above the screen that says "Share this screen instead." You could do it that way.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let's try this. So if I open this up in a new tab,
yep. And then you click that new tab.
Share this tab instead. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
There you go.
But is it sharing?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. So I just want you to take a look at this for a second. Notice it's holding, these different symbols in its hands and its talons, right? If I go back and I go to like the seal of the United States, open image in new tab, share this tab instead. Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. You
even have this I don't know what they call it.
The sun thing, right?
Right, and that carries over in different symbology as well. There's a lot of that happens. Like, here you go. Here's an example. Open image in new tab, share this tab instead. Right?
Yeah.
And then if I go to something like Mexico's, where's Mexico's? I saw it here a second ago. Where did it go? Here we go. Coat of Arms of Mexico. Open image, a new tab. Share this tab instead. Notice what's in the eagle's mouth.
That's the coat of arms of Mexico?
Yep.
Is it really?
Right, it's eating the serpent. Okay. There's a lot of this stuff. Here's another one from Egypt. Now, I don't understand fully, like, how this... I don't know how to articulate this, to be honest with you. But, like, there is definitely something here where you have this faction of beings that chose to use the eagle as a representation of themselves. And it's usually it's usually showing the destruction of the serpent, right? And you know, it's just odd to me that happens. And then, you know, when you get into like some of this, you know, ancient stuff, right, you start to wonder, like, hey man, what happened there? Like, what was this snake culture? But then you look into like Central America, right, like the Mayans and all these different cultures, you know, they revered serpents, right? Like they were like Quetzalcoatl is like this serpent figure, right? It's like the god of creation, right? A lot of these. So like when you look at some of the older stuff, they're looking at serpent as like the creator gods. You see what I mean? And then the eagle swoops in and destroys it. Right? Here's an Aztec one. Check this out. This one's cool. It's similar to the coat of arms of Mexico.
Yeah, it's almost the exact same thing.
Right.
So I went to Grok. And I just simply asked it, what is the relation between the eagle and the serpent in ancient history? You want to hear what it said?
Yeah, tell me.
So, it lists 6 cultural references. Mythologies, traditions, whatnot. And then the summary at the end. In summary, the eagle and the serpent in ancient history often embody a dynamic relationship representing opposing yet complementary forces, sky and earth, divine and mortal, order and chaos. Their interactions in myths highlight cultural values like balance, struggle, or divine intervention, with specific meanings varying by region and tradition. For deeper insights into blah, blah, blah. Right. So, I guess I should. The very first paragraph, the relationship between the eagle and the serpent in ancient history is rich with symbolic and mythological significance across various cultures, often representing dualities such as sky versus earth, spirit versus matter, or good versus evil. Here's a concise overview based on their roles in ancient traditions. And then it goes into Mesopotamian mythology, ancient Egypt, Mesoamerican, Greek and Roman, indigenous North American, and symbolism across other cultures. And it just gives off examples. And I'm not going to read them all. Just it would take too long. But it is interesting. I wonder if there's got to be somebody that's already done this homework.
So the eagle and serpent have been enduring symbols in human history, often representing a cosmic or moral opposition. Across ancient cultures from Mesopotamia to Egypt to Greece, Rome, Mesoamerica, the eagle typically embodies the sky, the sun, divine power, freedom, and higher authority. It is associated with conquest, vision, and the masculine or solar principle. This is important, the solar principle, right?
Yep.
The sun.
Yep.
That's important here because I've talked about this on the show before, where the people who, in like the Saturn death cults, right? These Saturnalian cultists, right? They worship the old sun, the original sun, which is not Sol, our sun. It's Saturn. It's a different sun, right? And in their belief, and again, these are the people who run the world, by the way. These are like the top of the top of the top. They are in this Saturnalia cult. They believe and they worship and they are trying to bring back the golden age. And that golden age was the time before with the original sun, right? So that's kind of what I was saying a minute ago, where like, if you went way back, and I'm not talking about, because in mainstream, accepted archaeological timelines, civilization didn't start until, a few thousand years ago, right? 7,000 years ago or something like this. Okay. And that's what archaeologists will say. They'll say, hey, look, man, like human beings didn't start building cities and watching the stars and coming up with math and language and all these things that we use every day right now until 5, 6, 7,000 years ago, right? That's generally the accepted timeline. I think and believe that we were doing things and building civilizations way, way before that, like before the last ice age, like 100,000 years ago. We were doing crazy stuff. Okay. And then when whatever the event was that happened at the end of the last ice age, 12,000 years ago, that younger Dryas period, which I've talked about, right? Whether it was a comet slamming into the ice sheets and causing massive floods, or maybe it was volcanoes erupting, whatever the case is, I don't know what happened, but I know that there was mass catastrophes that wiped out most of humanity at the end of the last ice age. And from the ashes of that, right, the people who survived, they brought and perpetuated new systems in civilization, right? And we have been living under this new eagle sun, right? This new era, this new world order, right? This is why I said that term, since the end of the last ice age. Right, where I think that our ancestors before then were on a whole different path. They were using shamanistic stuff, right? And like there was some of that carried on through after the last ice age, right? Like if you go to some hunter-gatherer tribe in the Amazon, you could find shamans, right? You can find people who are like keyed into the holistic version of reality, right? But as time went on, more authoritarian, nuts and bolts type of war and conquest, right? Like all of these things, the analytical mind, the new sun, the eagle faction, like all of this is the new, whereas the old was like a whole different thing. They were on psychedelics. They were building sacred geometrical megaliths around the world that were aligned with true north and true cardinal directions, and they were aligned with stars, and they were harnessing geomancy, right? Like energy from the earth and like all these types of things. Like they got rid of that shit because they had to install this new control mechanism under this new world order. And that's where we've been at.
You know what I just thought of? I'm going to share this. I wonder if this has anything to do.
See, like, check this out. I'll read a little more of this real quick. So the eagle typically embodies the sky, the sun, divine power, freedom, and higher authority associated with conquest, vision, masculine, or solar principle. In contrast, the serpent symbolizes the earth, the underworld, wisdom, temptation, chaos, fertility, right? The duality. This duality frequently manifests as a battle between the two, with the eagle often triumphing over the serpent, signifying the victory of order, light, or civilization over primal forces, right? So these people, this Saturn death cult, they use this symbology and have for a few thousand years to speak to each other, if you will, right? And they're kind of signaling like, hey, we won over the past. We took over this earthly holistic way of living with our new authoritarian way of living. our new control structures.
So, do you think that this "Don't Tread on Me" flag had anything to do with it?
Yeah, I think that people who invented this, right? Like
this was Benjamin Franklin. I believe it was in 1754.
There you go. Right.
Because actually that piece that you see right in the middle of the screen there, that Joiner guy, was the original comic that was drawn as part of a recruitment for the, I don't remember. But the Gadsden flag, the "Don't Tread on Me" flag there, was basically created as a symbol of defiance, independence, and vigilance against government. It was basically for libertarian anti-government movements.
There you go. I mean, there you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? So you have people that are in positions of power now and back in Benjamin Franklin's day and all through history that are aware of this, right? And they're pushing back against it, right? This is all like occult type stuff, right? Like you get into some of these secret societies and how they view and operate the world. Like, I believe that people like Benjamin Franklin probably was aware of this stuff to a certain extent, and like, you know, they use these symbols again to communicate with each other, and there is some like subconscious element to this as well, right? Call it magic, if you will. And he was probably playing into that. He was probably like, yo, we have to create this flag with the snake on it, and it's a representation of defiance to the authoritarian rule, right? And there you go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is.
Yup.
And then, I wonder if the Chinese dragon, because it was the Chinese dragon, just folklore wise, compared to the European dragon, right? So the Eastern versus Western dragon. The Western dragon, the European dragon, right, was reptilian, dinosaur-esque, with wings, right? Badass, brute, basically out of fairy tales. But the one that was in the East, the Asian one, Chinese, it was serpentine.
Don't chew on that, Max.
Cooper loves that shoe, too.
Oh, now he's into Cooper's food. Wow, he is loving it. What do you feed Cooper?
Blue Buffalo Life Protection Formula. He never leaves a crumb. I love it because it's made with high-quality protein, nutrient-rich fruits and veggies, and wholesome whole grains.
Looks like we're switching to Blue.
Blue Buffalo foods are made with the superior ingredients your dog needs to thrive. Can your dog food say that? Visit feedbluefood.com to learn more.
Welcome to Sephora. I'm looking for a perfume that's not too perfumey. I got you.
Serum moisturizer or moisturizer serum.
Let's get into layering.
My concealer is making me look worse.
Sounds like the wrong shade. Let's get you matched.
There's only one store that really gets what you're going for. Get beauty from people who get beauty. Only at Sephora.
Hi, Let's get you a basket.
Jif peanut butter. It's that jiffing good, it doesn't really need advertising. So instead, enjoy the calming sounds of the ocean. Jif. Ooh, it's that jiffing good. Get your Jif at Jif.com.
Didn't have wings. It actually, in case you didn't know, got its power to fly from an organ in its head. I wonder if that has anything to do with it too.
I'm sure there's
big piece of symbolism in that culture.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like symbolic, significance to that.
I'm gonna look that up.
There's a lot there. I mean, like that's a whole rabbit hole by itself. Let me look this up real quick.
In Chinese culture, the dragon, a serpent-like creature, is a potential or a potent symbol of imperial power, prosperity, and divine favor. Unlike Western serpents, often tied to evil, the Chinese dragon is benevolent, associated with water, fertility, and cosmic harmony. It remains a national symbol, seen in cultural festivals and state imagery. Not much there. I mean, there's some keywords, but
you also have order out of chaos, right? Which is like a Freemason thing, right? Let me see here. Let me pull this up.
Oh, I got something with Killer Cup. Here we go.
Share my screen. Here we go. So,
that's Russian.
Yeah, this is There's a bunch of different
two-headed eagle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and you've got this symbolism all over here.
Ooh, shit, 33, the triangle, everything.
You got the 33, which is, again, it's in the same position as the sun, right? In this symbol, you have this serpentine-like sword here, right? In the clutches of the eagle. Order out of chaos. This is Ordo ab chaos. Order out of chaos, right? So there's something there for sure.
What's up, Danny? Russia, the double-headed eagle. Russia's coat of arms features a double-headed eagle, inherited from the Byzantine Empire through Ivan III's marriage to Sophia. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. In 1472, it symbolizes power, dominion over East and West, and continuity with imperial traditions. The eagle reflects Russia's historical and modern ambitions as a global power. While not a primary symbol, serpents appear in Russian folklore, such as the dragon, Gornish. Okay. This mirrors the eagle serpent struggle. Okay, not much for serpent. Anything in Russia. It's pretty much just all eagle. It's just folklore when it comes to serpents. Russia's use of the double-headed eagle aligns with its geopolitical strategy to assert influence across Europe and Asia. The absence of a prominent serpent symbol may suggest a focus on imperial dominance over internal or earthly challenges. Very interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if it could just be because the ancient people, in Hermeticism, you have this as above, so below thing, right? So the ancients were trying to mimic what they saw in the sky on the ground. This is why they built a lot of these megalithic structures that aligned with stars and all these types of things. Okay. They were trying to replicate what they saw in the sky, right? Which back to them was their gods. A lot of these cultures, they looked at the sky and assumed it was the heavens, right? So they were trying to replicate what they saw up there down here. And there is something to say about order out of chaos in the natural world, right? You have the formation of galaxies and planets and all these types of things where it's order out of the chaos, right? If that makes sense. So this could just be a natural progression of things when it comes to civilizations and intelligent beings in the universe, where you have this chaotic, holistic version of existence, and it over time it just orders itself, self-ordering, right? So it could just be a tip of the hat to that idea, or knowing that happens, right? So it could be that you go back a few thousand years, our ancestors just kind of understood these concepts and they were just tipping the hat to it. Hey, order out of chaos, you know, the eagle taking out the serpent, like a new way of life, like we're getting rid of this primordial like way of living and we're replacing it with this more structured, civilized system, right? And it could just be a representation of that, or it could be more like, you know, I think it's probably more like purposely done, not necessarily like the natural way of things. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I don't necessarily 100% agree, but it's an interesting thought exercise to go through. It's worth exploring for sure. It is.
Even in like, you know, the Bible, for instance, right? You have the stories of like, what's the two cities that God nuked? Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Because they, you know, these two cities were, you know, there was, all this stuff was happening, right? What, I don't know, gambling and prostitution, just like degeneracy was going on in these two fucking places, and God decides to nuke these places, right? And like restart basically. And you know, it's kind of that's another story of the same thing, where you had this previous culture that people might look at as like chaotic and primordial and whatever, degenerate, and then wipe it clean, start with more structure.
Man, dude. Sorry, I was just going down this other rabbit hole in my fucking head. I wasn't even listening to you.
That's okay. And then somebody was listening. And then you have this great reset that they're talking about, right? So it's like another step in that, where you can look at the degeneracy in society right now, right? A lot of people would argue that there's like a lot of fucking, you know, degeneracy going on, right? And then you have the people at the top, the World Economic Forum, the Trilateral Commission, like all these people, the Bilderberg groups, like they're all talking about this great reset. Like they want to reset everything again. It's like, do we just get to a point where humans become, I don't know, like chaotic as a whole, as a group, and then the elites have to figure out a way to reset everything, wipe it clean, and then have more structure, right? And then we're going to have like AI and surveillance state and like digital currencies and like all these things that are going to keep us more like, boom, locked in for another couple thousand years. And then we'll get chaotic at the end of that cycle somehow. And then they'll wipe it clean and there'll be a whole new set of rules and shit going in. You know, that's kind of the way I see it. What were you thinking about?
A lot of time will have to pass.
Yeah, it's a multi-thousand-year situation. I mean, these people, okay, if you want to call them people, they're operating on these long time scales, these ages, right? These 2,000-year cycles, right? So since the time of Jesus, whether you believe it or not, right, we've been living in this age. Pisces, am I right? We've been living in Pisces. The fish, right? And what is the symbol that represents Jesus? Is the fish. But if you went back to the age prior to that, right, what was that? What did they worship then, right? I don't know the specific order, but this is something that Micah would have talked about if he came on tonight, right? You have these different ages, right? Like at one time, it was the ram, right? And ram symbolism, the ram horn, all of these things, right? Like, you know,
Capricorn. Right?
You have Taurus, the bull, right? You have all these civilizations that had bull iconography, right? And then now we've been in the fish, right? We're moving into Aquarius, right? Which is the age of knowing or the age of information, right? So we're moving through these ages on the zodiac calendar, right? The people at the top, they follow this, right? Now I'm not talking about like what's my horoscope today. I'm talking about like true like zodiac shit, you know, the sky clock, right? So these people are kind of operating off of this, and every 2,000 or so years, the age shifts, and so does all of the structures of civilizations as well. the symbolisms, the religions, the languages, the borders, the monies, all of that shifts with each age.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I never really dove into that whole Age of Aquarius thing. Heard it plenty of times, but never really dove into it. I want to circle back here for a second because that little personal rabbit hole I was going down. I think that I just want to mention it just because. I found, I don't know, man. I don't know why I started going down this, but reptilians. Okay. Reptilians bad. Serpents bad.
Right.
You're convinced, everyone is convinced that there's reptilians out there, lizard people, right? You call them lizard people all the time. Lizard people are bad, right? And I'm not poking at you. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, no, I'm tracking. Yeah, I'm tracking.
I mean, shoot, there's even supposed to be reptilian alien beings and reptilian DMT figures, right? But either way, no matter what we talk about, whenever you talk about a reptilian being, they're bad. Well, what do we know with eagle wings? Now, it's not the biblical version, but the modernized version of angelic beings, right? Angels.
Yeah, they got eagle wings.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's glorification.
Yeah.
And demonization. Right there.
Yeah, the snake in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
and I'm not trying to tie biblical references in, right? I'm just saying, you know,
you're noticing the pattern that I'm talking about.
Correct. Yeah. Exactly. It's you know, if you're noticing, or I'm just noticing a theme. But a pattern, right? What you just fucking said. But I'm noticing that that's being pushed on a much bigger front, right? Because I've heard, right? Jake's my best friend, so I've heard plenty of times that, you know, the angels with the big elaborate wings and the halos and, you know, the perfect facial features and skin and whatever, those are not biblical angels, right? Biblical angels are much different looking. But why would they ever turn into something that they're not described to be?
Because it's a subconscious implanting of these ideas, right? So I don't know, like there's something about propagating these archetypes through generations subconsciously as well. You know, here's what's interesting, right? Like if you look at, like, I don't know, pick a movie where you see these angelic beings, right? Like you said, they have these eagle wings, they have the halo. And if you kind of look at it and you think about those images that I brought up earlier, right? You have this eagle figure with the wings spread out and the sun above the head, right?
Huh.
And that halo.
Jeez, man.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
So there's something about them implanting this archetype subconsciously in our minds. I don't know if it's to remind us or to keep control.
Walmart Business is in the business of saving you time, money, and hassle. Whether your business started in a garage or is a garage, Walmart Business has the tools to help you get where you're going. Tools like free shipping, multi-user accounts, and just about any item your company needs.
Even a double filtration cyclone dust collector.
Yep, even that.
Sweet.
Walmart Business. It's the Walmart you love, now for your business.
Learn more at business.walmart.com. Terms apply.
At Talus, we know cybersecurity can be tough and you can't protect everything, but with Talus, you can secure what matters most. With Talus industry-leading platforms, you can protect critical applications, data, and identities anywhere and at scale with the highest ROI. That's why the most trusted brands and largest banks, retailers, and healthcare companies in the world rely on Talus to protect what matters most: applications, data, and identities. That's Talus, T-H-A-L-E-S. Learn more at talusgroup.com/cyber.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask kindergarten teacher Miss Gibson.
Give me just one Clorox wipe and I'm ready for glitter glue, exploded lunchbox yogurt, peanut butter handprints, runny noses, picking noses, rubbing noses.
Touching noses.
Thank you, Edward. Ooh, nap mats and lockers and tissue boxes. And
Clorox
scissors.
disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe. Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Or whatever the case might be. Same with the reptilians thing, right? Like, you know, I'm
Holy
somewhat
shit, dude.
I'm somewhat aware of this concept, and I still say the lizard people, referring to the parasite class that runs the world, right? Knowing in the back of my mind that not really the snake culture, the lizard people are probably the good guys. If you went back.
I don't mean to interrupt you, man, but we put this shit on top of our Christmas tree.
Yeah.
We literally like worship this shit, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoo!
Yeah, look, man, religion, you know, I don't have a problem with here's the thing, man. Like, it's hard to talk about this because you have people who are like strong in their faith and they get turned off when you talk about these things because they think that you're shitting on their faith. But you know,
but they have to understand, right? If I wish Jake was a part of this episode because he would be able to articulate this better, because he would be able to back this up and say, you know, what we're talking about isn't the biblical angel, right? We're not talking about what should be upsetting people.
Right.
We're talking about an image that has been planted.
Yeah.
We're talking about a Hallmark card.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. You know, I don't know the exact quote, but there's something in the Bible about, you know, like the church, right? Like the church is not necessarily the place to go and find God, right?
It's a gathering of people.
So there's something to be said about that, where like when you're talking about these types of things, it's not that I'm discrediting anybody's religion or faith or anything like that. I'm simply pointing out, like you say, the patterns of the symbology of what we think when we talk about whether it's Christianity or Judaism or ancient religions or whatever the case might be. There's a clear connection between the symbology. And I just think that the people who, maybe not even the people who run the world, but the people who run the information in the world are using these archetypes, right, to instill something in us subconsciously, right? Like there's definitely some weird shenanigans going on in there at some point, you know, because there's a lot of people who do think that angels are these human beings or human looking beings with wings and the halo. Like there's a lot of people who like, that's what they think. When you say angel, like that's the mind, the image that pops into their mind is that. Right now, when I hear angel, I'm thinking more of like, I forget what it's called, like the spinning wheel with the eye
like
and the
seraphim.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think when I hear angels, right? But that's also like when you talk about UFOs or something like that. Like that's the same image that pops into my mind is this spinning wheel around this eye or something, right? Like so, there's something capturing the subconscious ideas of what we think of when we think of all of these concepts. And that to me is the control mechanism that the Saturn death cult people have like instilled in us over time. It's not that I'm shitting on, I'm not saying like your God doesn't exist. That'd be crazy, right? I'm somewhat spiritual myself. You know what I mean? Like, and I think most of us are, even the ones who claim to be atheists and we don't necessarily worship or study any particular religion. When you come face to face with death, or somebody in your family comes face to face with death, I think every single one of us prays to somebody, to something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've done it, and I don't ever claim to be a religious type person at all. But I can tell you right now, in the few times in my life where I really had like the fear of death put in me, you know, I looked up and was like, God, please. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, this is definitely not the path I was expecting to go down, but this is a pretty cool one, I'll tell you.
Yep.
It's so funny too, because I was just thinking to myself the other day how I need to narrow down the amount of shit that I research. And it's just like every time that we have a guest on, or you and I get into like these conversations, or I even just start talking to somebody somewhere and a new topic comes up, I end up buying a fucking book on a brand new subject, and I'm gonna end up looking for books on this shit. It's obnoxious, man.
You need to read that David Icke book, dude.
Does it cover that stuff?
He gets into it. Does he? Not directly. I mean, it's not like a focal point of the book, but when you read that book, dude, and you might have to read it 2 or 3 times. I don't know, but like, I've never read the book
in my life to read this book.
I've never read the book personally, but I've watched and listened to enough David Icke where I know what he's talking about in that book, right? I know what the concepts are and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, man, like when you get into that David Icke situation, you know, he talks about the reptilians, he talks about the archons, right? Which are the entities behind, you know, the Greys and the reptilians, right? And he talks about the Saturn death cults and how that connects to all of the world's religions and the control structures. He talks about this matrix that we live in. It's not like the movie The Matrix. It's not like a simulation. It's a matrix in the sense that like everything that we think we know about reality is manufactured, right, by somebody or something, and that we don't live in the truth that we think we live in, right? That's basically the gist of what's in that book and what David Icke talks about. So when you get through it, you're going to look at a lot of things just differently. You know, when people talk about certain things, you're going to consider the fact that, hey, maybe these are archonic entities that are being used to manipulate us through the layers of things, right? Like the Greys and the reptilians, that's just one layer like above us that, you know, we're being visited and manipulated by these entities. Well, there's a layer above those, and those are the archons, and there's a layer above that, and so on and so forth. And you get up to the tops of these layers and you realize that these people are worshiping an entity, Yaldabaoth, the Demiurge, Saturn, Satan, right? It's the same entity that is like producing this false reality that we live in, right? It's not the true God. It just thinks it's the true God because it's not aware of God. It's literally like the original idea of good and evil. You know, like ancient ones talked about this type of thing. It's deep shit, bro. I don't know. You have to read the book, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he gets, just looking at these pages, man, like there's a lot of key terms in here. Shit, he goes into Dogon,
yeah. The Dogon tribe.
Yeah. Bohemian Grove.
Yep.
Sirius. And that's just, wow. Lemuria. All on this one page. That's... All right.
Let me see if I can find a picture real quick before we end this, because there's like one image that I always see sometimes that makes me like it encompasses all of these ideas into one image.
Chariots of the Gods is is a good book, Skeeter. It's Eric von Daniken is the author. There's some holes in it, though. I will say I've read that book a couple times. I read that book before I started the podcast, and I've read it twice since starting the podcast. It is a good book. It is a good book, but we'll have to save that conversation for another day.
Here it is. I found the image.
Every book does have holes in it, but it's his theories, his particular theories in it that has holes in it. It's just incomplete.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Have you seen this before?
No.
Okay. So the only reason I'm bringing this up because it's just like a visual representation of kind of what I'm talking about here. Okay. You have like starting from the bottom, right? You have the masses, right? Slaves, us, food energy, right? This is why Alex Jones talks about the interdimensional psychic vampires, right? This is why a lot of people talk about them siphoning your negative energies and these types of things, right? You have this pyramid structure, right? And all up from the bottom, you have money, right? You have the dollar, the euro, all these different monies. You have the countries, the nation states, right? You have numbers, which are important in like esoteric traditions. You have the flags of secret societies and, you know, other things like that as well, right? Going up. Then you have the Abrahamic religions in here. You have this Freemasonic symbol here as well. And if you notice around the human being figure here, you have a couple of entities that are wrapping around. You see this green alien looking entity here, right? You have this reptilian entity over here, right? They're wrapping around, siphoning the energy off of us, right? Then above that, you have these archonic entities, these entities that are essentially the puppet masters of the reptilians, the greys, the mantids, etc. Right? There's another layer, interdimensional beings, archons, that are manipulating those beings, and above them is another layer of entities, and so on and so forth. And you get up to this demiurge figure. This is the figure here, demiurge, Yaldabaoth, that the Saturn death cult people worship, right? And notice Saturn's at the top, and it's in this matrix code. It's almost as if like they're creating this false reality that we all exist in through all of these different layers, right? And Saturn, the thing that's interesting about Saturn, bro, like I could go on for hours about Saturn by itself. I mean, we've all seen the image of the cube or the hexagon on top of Saturn, right? From NASA, right? That, how do I explain this? So on the top of Saturn, anybody can look this up on Google. And I don't think this is a real picture, by the way, because I don't think that we've ever fucking gone to space. This is just more psyop handed to us from these fucking parasite class. But they tell us that on the North Pole of Saturn is this perfect hexagon. Okay. This storm that's brewing and it's creating a perfect hexagon. Well, if you know anything about geometry, a two-dimensional hexagon is just a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional shape, which is a cube. Okay. That cube, right? This black cube is one of the symbols that the Saturn cult worships. So you can look at every one of the Abrahamic religions, and you can deduce their main symbols to a cube. So if you go to Islam, what do they have? The what's the big thing called? You know, they all walk in a circle around this black cube, right?
It's literally a black cube, yeah.
It's literally a black cube, and they walk in concentric circles around it, representing these rings of Saturn around this cube, okay? Then if you go to Judaism, what do they wear? The little cube on their head, right? You know what I'm talking about? Not the yarmulke, but they wear this cube. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Hold on. Give me 1 second.
But I know that the cross folds up into a cube.
The cross folds up into a cube, yep. Here we go. The rabbis wear this. Here we go. Share. Okay. The rabbis wear this black cube on their foreheads. Okay. Like you said, the cross folds up into a cube, right? There's cube. Like here's another. This might get us in trouble. Okay. You've got cube symbolism all over the place. Here's the one in...
For those listening on Spotify, that's the Star of David.
Okay. So the people at the top, they worship the black cube.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by The Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
And that black cube is just a representation of Saturn, which is just an like an archetype or a representation of Satan or the demiurge Yaldabaoth. So that, you know, and this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning with the eagle versus serpent. I think that they did something to manipulate our ancestors, and through time they're still manipulating us with this whole concept, this whole idea, right? We don't even realize it, but we carry around a fucking black cube in our pockets every day. And this black cube is a surveillance device, tracking device, mind control device, right? It's shortening our attention spans. It's creating degeneracy in society. It's like doing all the fucking shitty things, right? This is Satan in your pocket, right? This is Saturn. This is the black cube, right? You ever wonder why all screens are black cubes, black squares, black cubes? Every TV in your house is a black cube. Why aren't they circles? Why aren't they ovals? Why aren't they... You see what I'm saying? Like there's something here that's happening where there is a subconscious level of control. We're all worshiping this black cube and we have no idea that we're doing it. Even if you're not, even if you're worshiping the cross, or you're worshiping at the foot of the Star of David, or you're walking in these circles around the cube in Mecca, right? Like you're worshiping Saturn and you don't even realize it. That's all in David Icke's book, by the way, too.
Children of the Matrix. I don't know about the whole TV screen thing.
It's a portal.
I feel like that's just a basic.
You get into it.
Design.
Nah, you get into it deeper and you realize it's a portal of sorts, right? It's a portal. It sounds crazy, right, I understand, but you get into it. And you could go deep on logos too. A lot of corporate logos have Saturn or cube symbology in there as well, and you don't realize it until you start seeing it. Like I drive around town every single day and I'm like, that's Saturn symbology. That's Saturn symbology.
We've talked about this early in your tenureship here at Infinite Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
Toyota is one.
Toyota, Nissan is a Saturn, right? Saturn, there's literally a car, Saturn, right? Saturn V rocket, right? There's also certain colors, black and gold are representations of Saturn. So there's a lot of corporate logos and things that use black and gold. Yeah, schools, right? There's a lot, man. Like that's a whole, bro, we could talk for 20 hours about Saturn symbolism, but it all connects to this Eagle versus Serpent thing. It all connects to all the shit that we're talking about right here.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like I said, next week we don't have a guest. The week after that, I get my time in the limelight because it is my kind of subject, not Jeffrey's. It is. We are going to have an author on to talk about some cryptids. Kind of excited about that. Going to get a silent Jeff. It's going to be great.
Perfect.
It's going to be great. He's going to be so silent. And then after that, we have a nice little surprise for you guys. Special guest after that one. He is going to announce a book. And it'll be cool. Yeah. I don't really have anything else.
I don't either. We should probably cut it here because if I go too far down this Saturn rabbit hole, we'll be here all fucking night.
I mean, we don't have a guest as of right now for next week, so save it.
Sorry, I muted you. What did you
say? Did you really?
Yeah.
I said we don't have a guest for next week, so save it.
Okay.
What an asshole.
It's an accident. It's this touchscreen button right here. It's like right next to my...
See, that's why I don't set up my stream deck. So
I just need to adjust it. I need to move it because I do sometimes. I'll place my hand here, just like preemptively getting ready to mute myself, and I'll accidentally hit the mute you instead.
You're hilarious. All right. Well, that has been another episode of The Infinite Rabbit Hole. Until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here. All right. Bye, everybody.
Adios.
He didn't even say the break.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the Infinite Rabbit Hole podcast. If you're looking for more of our stuff, head on over to infiniterabbithole.com, where you can find links to all the podcast players that we are available on, and even our video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. While you're there, make sure to check out all the links for our socials and hit that follow so you know when all the new stuff from our podcast comes out. And until next time, travelers, we'll see you right here in the next fork in the path of the Infinite Rabbit Hole. Goodbye.